Book 101 review. Book 101 is all about the books that I've read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. One of his advocacy helping service businesses scale with honest, data driven marketing, no other than Mr. Nick Tsoukales.
Thanks for having me on, Daniel.
Welcome, Mr. Nick, on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Yes,
That
my
I
name
may.
is, yeah, for sure. My name is Nikitas Tsoukales. I go by Nick for short. That's my nickname. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts originally. I own a company called Realtop Digital, which can be found at realtop.com, helping service businesses all over the planet at this point dial in their online marketing so they can get more leads, drive in more sales, and really just build predictable client acquisition systems for them online.
Online. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Nick. Thank you. And today let's talk about digital marketing.
Let's do it.
Yes, if you had to strip digital marketing down to its one non-negotiable core purpose beyond clicks, likes, or even sales, what would it be?
I would say the focus on attention. Attention is going more and more into all things digital. And in business, you want to be where the attention goes, and you want more of that attention on you. So you got to get online. There are still millions of businesses that are running in a very analog fashion, and they should. The real world is real, and it's not going anywhere, but more of those eyeballs are going to the internet. They're going online. They're going into apps. They're going to social media platforms. They're going deep into AI and all of the different marketing channels within AI. So you got to go where the attention goes, my friend.
Yes, definitely. And modern consumers are savvy to marketing tactics. How do you build campaigns that don't feel like marketing, but rather feel like a genuine service or a valuable content, Mr. Nick?
I think you use the right word, valuable. I think you need to genuinely ask yourself whenever you put anything out there, a piece of content, an advertisement, an email newsletter, anything you're even putting on your website, is it providing value for the other person? Can you genuinely tell yourself, yes, I am providing value for the end user? And I think that is the trick, right? The more value we can give others, the more free knowledge we can give them, the more free recommendations, the more free advice, and we can genuinely give them value, not just junk. The more trust we can establish, and when trust is established, that's the missing link in all of business. When trust is established, the customers will come. They'll come naturally, and you don't have to sell and promote and push and pull and do all this funny stuff to get customers in the door. You can feel very good about what you're doing because you're just putting value out into the world. And obviously there's some nuances and there's like the technical execution, but I think that needs to be the underlying tone of all marketing, actually, not just online marketing. Like, what can I do for you and make you feel good, and what value can I give to you? And I think once we're doing that, we can establish that trust. And really, what is marketing? It's just first step in serving your customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You market them, you establish that trust. Then you have, what is the sale? The sale is typically almost like a discovery session with a lot of consulting, with a lot of recommendations, with a lot of giving, right? Tailored solutions. And then once you have that agreed upon retainer or agreement from your new customer, then you can serve them and execute for them if they choose to.
If they choose to, yes. So, Mr. Nick, with so many channels, how do you advise businesses to stop thinking in silos and start creating a single cohesive customer experience across all touch points?
Yeah, I think as business owners, we need to take a step back. And I think we need to look at our own behavior before we start marketing. And, what is one example of that? I'm looking to buy a new sweater and I go online and I look for sweaters. And I may or may not make a purchase, right? But maybe I didn't make a purchase that moment. I went on someone's website, then I checked their reviews. Then I left. I decided not to buy. Then a few days later, I saw their remarketing ad on Instagram. Then I left. Then I'm watching Facebook Reels or YouTube Shorts, and somehow the algorithm knew to present to me the founder's story, and I engage in that. Then I walk down the street. I'm in Boston and I see a bus drive by, and there's a piece of marketing on the side of the bus for that same brand. Now I've engaged with that brand, 4, 5, 10 different ways in 10 different places. And then ultimately, what do I do? I end up doing a Google search, finding the company, and finishing my purchase days later. The point is that you can't operate in a silo anymore. Okay. You need your marketing. You need to be omnipresent across multiple different marketing channels, understanding that even your behavior as a buyer, you're a human just like your, future customers are. You're doing the same thing. Okay, you're looking up companies, you're bouncing around between marketing channels, the algorithm's doing some targeting, your reticular activating system is turning on, and now you're actually seeing them out in the world where they were already marketing and doing brand awareness. The point is that message needs to get reinforced across multiple channels. The companies that are doing that, keep in mind, their cost to acquire customers is going to always be far lower than the business that just says, hey, I'm going to run an ad and see what I get today. And that's it. That's all they're doing. Or I'm just going to do SEO and I'm going to get free customers that I don't pay for clicks for. Um, it just doesn't work. Marketing does not operate in a silo like it did even a decade ago. Okay. Although it didn't then either, now it's especially important to be omnipresent and to have a diversified marketing strategy across not just online, by the way. I'm an online marketer, but the most
Hmm.
sophisticated clients that I work with, they'll hire us for their online marketing. But on the other side of things, they have a whole marketing plan. um, again, they're doing billboard sides of buses, they're on podcasts, they're doing magazines still, they're doing radio, they're doing satellite, they're doing a little of everything. So they're omnipresent.
Omnipresence, just like the gods. Amazing. So, where is the line between relying on cold, hard data and following your creative or strategic intuition? Can you share the time when intuition led you to a breakthrough that the data did not support?
Whew, I'll tell you one story that was just purely intuition. One of our most successful campaigns internally here at the agency for us was a Facebook campaign we launched about 24 months ago. Generated to date probably more than, I don't know, a couple hundred clients, a couple of thousand inquiries, and we built a massive email newsletter because of it. Was we had gone to a convention for dentists. We actually have a division of our company just dedicated to dentists. And we went there and actually found that at the convention, although we were giving away a lot of free stuff and meeting a lot of cool people, there wasn't actually much interest in in new marketing, right? In new ideas. And what we found at the time in the area that we were in were these dental practice owners were actually coming up with a shortage. They actually had an abundance of new patients coming in the door, but they had a shortage of staff. And the booth next to us was offering staffing services for dentists, and they were jam packed. Long story short, good event, met a lot of cool people. It was definitely a plus plus, but we're like, how come we didn't have the line like the next guy? And that's when I thought, like it seems it seems to me, and we should already know this being marketers, but it seems to me that that people, even the most analytical, even the most logical people, are still influenced very much by emotion. And the emotion of the moment was the pain of lack of labor in these offices. And I thought, if I'm going to do any sort of successful new initiative for the agency, I need to start with pain. Okay, what pain does my client have or my prospective client have that I can hammer in my messaging, provide a free solution for the pain point without asking for a dollar, okay, in order to get to that missing link in all sales and marketing and all client acquisition, which is trust. And if I can do that, I can acquire a lot of clients. And that was kind of a breakthrough. Um, I'll tell you later on in the evening in our Airbnb, me and Jake, one of our go-to guys here at Realtop, who runs our whole operation, we just kind of like sat around thinking, like, what's up? This is kind of odd, like, and we just sort of had a light bulb moment, like pain sells, emotion sells, and we quickly wired up a script for a commercial, had it filmed a couple days later on an iPhone, and by day's end, after a brief edit, we were cranking in leads like crazy. So, um, you know, pain, sell pain solutions. If you can do that, you can make a lot of money very quickly.
Mr. Nick, on channels and tactics, everyone says content is king, but much of is forgettable. What
Yeah.
is the queen or the missing piece that makes content truly reign and build a loyal audience?
Yeah, I think it's the evergreen content. Okay, there's content that people are going to go back to over and over and over. That's going to be almost like a roadmap, in the B2B space for a business, right? Or a roadmap for a particular customer. So my suggestion is when you're creating your content, think like, can people come back to that content over and over? Are they going to bookmark it and have it forever? And also when you're creating evergreen content, that content can easily be converted into paid ads and have that turn into sales over and over and over. In the messaging, it doesn't get stale. That's the cool thing. So focus on your fundamental issues your customers are having, their actual real problems. Solve them in your content. Make sure the content's evergreen, and you can repurpose it a million ways from Sunday, whether it's ads or just organic. But again, like, you're going back to that old mantra, right? Like, are you giving value? I would give one very simple tip. There's this awesome acronym, which is WIFT, WIIFT. Again, before you hit the publish button on that post, ask yourself, what's in it for them? If you can genuinely answer that question, what's in it for them? Um, you can sell yourself on it, post the darn thing, send the newsletter, make the commercial. If you can't, don't do it. It's crap.
Mr. Nick, SEO has moved far beyond keyword stuffing. What is the most underrated white hat SEO practice that businesses still are not taking advantage of today?
Oh yeah, that one's easy. That's Instagram. Google is indexing Instagram right now. Instagram results are coming up in Google searches. Companies, services, information. I would absolutely quadruple down on your Instagram content. And somewhere you were using Instagram for social media, okay? And,
Mm-hmm.
and I get
Mm-hmm.
it. And you own a company and you post, and you're like, yeah, my engagement's not that great. You might have a very niche product, very small pool of clients, and you're like, I didn't get 10,000 likes. Don't worry about it. Answer the question, what's in it for them? Is it genuinely good stuff for your end audience? Make sure it's professional and polished. You want to have a nice representation of your company or services if it's corporate content, or company branded content. But get consistent with it. Um, Longer form content video, add your captions because that guarantees that Instagram has all your words, and try to really get engaged in the comments. Google is crawling all of that data. It's presenting it in search for services. I can't tell you how many leads we've been getting lately and following this mantra. And, I can't say we're the most popular on Instagram as a brand. We're okay, right? We're not some viral hit, but our Instagram is basically powering our Google search right now, which is awesome.
Awesome indeed, Mr. Nick. Thank you for the tips. As a founder of Real Top, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
I used to, this isn't my first rodeo in business. I've been doing this for a little bit. And I would say if this was a decade ago, I would tell you I was trying to build the biggest and baddest. And, I'd use slogans like grow or die. And I would say right now, my new slogan is get better or die.
Mm-hmm.
So we just look at everything we're doing and we're trying to improve it, everything. The service that we offer, the quality of our content, the quality and the performance of all of our advertising, what we're doing even internally for ourselves. I think if we can just continue improving everything we're doing, even just 5% or 10% a month, just an improvement, the results will come and the business will actually scale organically in a really healthy way. In the past, I've scaled companies where I said, hey, we're at 200 sales a month. How do we get to 2000? And we line up all these milestones: staffing, marketing, investment, operations. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's something special about that too. But I think right now ours is actually just to continuously get better. I'm a big car fan, and I always loved how the Porsche 911 is engineered, right? If you look at
Mm-hmm.
it in 2025, it's the same car as 1975, but they keep improving it. So slight iterations, 5% here, 10% there. And, 50, 60, 70 years later, it's the best sports car in the world. So I'm sort of taking that same perspective with the agency and letting the numbers, by the way, letting the numbers just sort of happen. Wherever they fall, they fall.
Good luck to your goals, Mr. Nick, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
That want to be like me. Well, I'd be worried if you want to be like me. I would say this, look,
Why?
I would say this. If you're looking to become an entrepreneur or business owner, I would, working with hundreds of business owners over the years, probably thousands at this point, 9 out of 10 business owners I work with did not become entrepreneurs because they thought it was some glamorous thing. This is probably a better fit for a certain personality, or this was the only option they had. They didn't do well in corporate, or wasn't the right fit. Um, get your money locked down early on. If you have a great job, stick with it. Don't leave it. You know, get your money locked down. Whatever you think you need for a financial runway, you think you need 3 months or 6 months, quadruple it. The burn rate is pretty unbelievable when you start a venture. Get faith. Okay. If you do not have faith and you start a business, you're gonna find God very, very quickly. So find faith, get a financial runway, and don't quit your day job until maybe the business has enough revenue coming in the door that you can walk away from it, or maybe an equal number.
Unequal number. I like that. A million number. For sure. And thank you for that advice, Mr. Nick. And can you please recommend a book or books to influence your journey?
Oh, yes. I'm going to give a book that actually has nothing to do with online marketing. It's from before online marketing even existed. Um, when I first got into sales, give or take 20 years ago, 25 years ago now,
Mm-hmm.
um, I wanted to find out who the number one was of the thing I was doing. Why should I learn from the number 10 guy or some guy with a course that's selling something he's never actually done? So I found the Guinness Book of World Records, number one salesperson of all time, and he wrote a book. The guy that wrote it, his name is Joe Girard. He held the record for the most retail sales by referral in history, Guinness Book of World Records. And he wrote a very simple book called How to Sell Anything to Anybody. And it's not a book on how can I put this psychological hacks on how to trick people into buying things. It was literally his system for word of mouth marketing. And although I offer digital marketing, I actually push my new entrepreneurs to get really good at building a foundation based on word of mouth. Because once you have that, the money you reinvest into online marketing, it's the cherry on top. You build a far more profitable business. So, How to Sell Anything to Anybody by Joe Girard.
Joe Girard, and thank you so much for that recommended book. Mr. Nick, so what is the single biggest missed opportunity you see most businesses making in their digital marketing efforts?
Oh, that's easy. That's email marketing. 9 out of 10 businesses are not even doing a consistent email newsletter. Forget the fancy drip campaigns, just literally a monthly newsletter to their database with a valuable piece of content just to wave hello and say hi and remind them that they're alive. And then they wonder why their word of mouth has died. Their word of mouth referrals have died down, why their repeat business has died down, and why a lot of people just don't remember them. So the email newsletter marketing channel is the most underutilized. It's also the most profitable of all marketing channels. You don't pay for the clicks. You already paid to acquire that email newsletter. So get on your newsletter. It's free, it's cheap, and you got tools like MailChimp that will allow you to create a stunning newsletter in like 10 minutes.
In 10 minutes, imagine. And if you were to be remembered for one marketing campaign you created, what would you want it to be, and what would that say about your philosophy?
My favorite marketing campaign was my friend Pedro, who has since become my friend. One of the companies we were serving, we had sent a film crew out to him. He was a customer of the company, and we just asked him to do a testimonial. And he really felt very strongly about the services he had bought and how it helped transform his life. And he literally just told the world about his experience. We took that testimonial just as a test and we ran it as an ad without any call to actions, without any editing, with the exception of captions. It was very raw and very pure and very genuine. That ad outperformed every single high production value commercial we ever ran, and it ran for I don't know 4 or 5 years and produced I don't know how many tens of thousands of leads. It was really quite remarkable. So authenticity works, it sells.
Hmm, definitely. Authenticity. And Mr. Link, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season. Abstract poetry in second season. I'm a book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in third season. I'm a food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101, love letters. Movie 101 review and music 101 our fourth season. Science 101, sex 101 and second season. Our baby podcast, Law 101, Mental Health 101, and Bible Verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So if you could give a one piece of touch love or tough love advice to every business owner or CMO about their digital marketing, what would it be, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, if you don't have the money, don't spend it. Okay. As much as you feel like I should run this ad or invest in pay per click, don't spend money you don't have. Take a hard look at what your revenue was last month and not just revenue, actual money that came in after cost of goods sold. If it was $40,000, if it was $400,000, real money that hit the cash register, and allocate a budget. Could be 5%, could be 10%, could be as high as even 50% if you're selling e-commerce, but get that budget in place for all of your marketing collectively, okay, and keep that discipline. And I'll tell you why. Marketing, there's a lot of shiny object syndrome in our world, right? You're going to try to buy every stupid piece of software, every service you can imagine. When you have that discipline in place and that is your hard stop, you will increase the amount of energy you put into marketing, which allows you to stay more economical. You will start to get more creative. You'll start to get more clever. So have a financial cap. Could be 10%. That's the number we use as an agency. We're investing 10% of our real net revenue in marketing. It could be 5, it could be 20. Check with your like what your industry standards are. Typical service business is somewhere between 10 and 15%. If you're generating just leads for a service business, but stick to that financial discipline. And if you don't have it, just don't spend it. You'll thank me.
Yes, don't spend it and spend it wisely. And Mr. Nick, again, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So can you please invite our listeners to support your business, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yes, please. If you want to visit us online, I would say a couple of our more popular platforms are our actual website, which you can find at realtop.com, realtop.com, or you can check us out on Instagram at realtopdigital.
Real top digital people, let's support Mr. Nik Tsoukales because if you support him for sure, more and more digital marketing will rise. So, Mr. Nick, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel.
More to come, people. See you soon.